So welcome. We are currently recruiting for our Hatch program, which is our early stage ideas program. I can talk a little bit more about the different types of programs that Farmers to Founders have, and we run multiple programs throughout the financial year. But this was focused more on that program specifically. We've already sort of talked about who's in the room. Can I just get a, maybe in the chat function, have you guys heard of Farmers to Founders before? Or is this kind of, we've popped up more recently? Can I ask? Or you can just come off mute and tell me the answer if you, oh yeah, we've got, Claire, can you just read out? Oh no, I've got the chat. Here we go. Here we go.
No from Amanda. No from Sigfrido. Semi-recent from Miffy. And no from a Dave.
Okay, so you haven't really heard of us. I'm taking that as you haven't heard of about us in detail. Is no? Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll give a bit of background then. Farmers to Founders has been around and operating nationally since 2000, sort of the back end of 2018. So originally, so our mission really is to keep producers at the centre of innovation, and hopefully by our company name, Farmers to Founders, it gives you a bit of an idea of what we do. However, we've opened up kind of the scope of individuals and teams that we work with. So now our programs, previously we would only work with producers. So producers coming into our program, right from a very early stage idea, to solve a problem on farm that they had or for their industry, right through to kind of scale up and export ready businesses, all led by producers. So that's what really our programs the intake was around. Now we've actually opened that up to, students, research teams, tech developers, and of course producers as well. But really our whole purpose is around making sure that producers are, involved in the innovation process, because we believe that producers are, very, well-versed in the problem. And so they need to be connected to the solution providers essentially. And so really, as I said, I'll show you a diagram around our kind of program pathways. So we work with people all along their entrepreneurship journey. So as I said, from a very early idea stage, as in you've got an idea and that's about it, and you need help to get started, which we're going to talk about. That's really the Hatch program. Right through to our internationalization programs that are looking at export into Asia, for example. So who we are. So as I said, we've been operating nationally since 2018. We have a full national footprint. Our internal team work remotely across Australia. So Claire's in Brisbane, I'm in South Coast, New South Wales. So a lot of us are based in different regions in Australia. However, we deliver our programs nationally. So that means that anyone in Australia can apply. And we are also looking to expand our programs internationally. We're just not at that point yet. So as I said before, we work exclusively in the agricultural sector. We've got large communities. We've got a huge alumni based on the number of programs we've worked. Got a regional footprint and strong industry support. So I'll talk about our research and development corporations that support us. So we have 6 R&D corporations that support Farmers to Founders as well. So a little bit about our traction. So just to give you a bit of an idea that we know what we're doing, hopefully. So we've run multiple pre-accelerator programs, scale up accelerators, supported 48 businesses through that more kind of advanced stage, raising investment and those sorts of things. And then we've helped support sort of 70 early stage ideas, so right through to where they're now establishing real businesses. And, you know, working across Australia, we've supported a number, you know, over 500 producers and tech developers through a whole range of different activities. Any questions so far? All good? Cool. So I just wanted to show you kind of our, so really what Farmers to Founders does is we provide opportunities to create new ventures because we believe that, you know, the startup community and entrepreneurs are going to be really, you know, at the forefront of developing solutions for industry problems. So our pathways, and we are the only business company in Australia that offers a full program pathway. So you'll probably see other accelerators that, you know, they may be at scale up stage or they've got an ideas program, but they don't actually offer you that pathway. And so at any point when you come into our pathway, you then get access to move through, and everyone kind of moves at different timelines. So you might, you know, apply for the Hatch program, you'll go through our kind of online program called the Journey Starter, which I'll show you shortly, which just kind of prepares you for the Hatch program, gives you some, you know, new resources and some digital capability. And then anyone that goes through a Hatch program has an opportunity to apply for the Hone program, which is where you're at the stage to establish a real business. You'll get funding at that point, and that's sort of an 8-week more advanced program. So hopefully that makes sense. I will go into a lot more detail around Hatch because that's why we're here today. And yeah, more than happy to answer any questions you may have. Okay. So I just wanted to talk to our supporters that I mentioned before. So Farmers to Founders is funded by 6 of the research and development corporations, as you can see here: AgriFutures, Meat and Livestock Australia, GRDC with grains, wine, fisheries and aquaculture with FRDC, and Australian Wool Innovation with the wool industry. So hopefully that's kind of giving you some, that's not to say that we don't work outside of those industries, but we have a real focus on those industries, if that makes sense. So a lot of our cohorts that come through, they'll be working on ideas or businesses across these industries. And as you, if you know AgriFutures, they have multiple industries that they cover, so both rural and emerging, and so a lot of you might fall into that. We also have worked with, you know, businesses and individuals, teams, etc., that, you know, come from horticulture, and so outside of sort of this remit as well. Okay, any questions so far? We'll just kind of keep checking in. All good? Okay, so just to show you our team, and we're expanding all the time. So we are recruiting for additional team members at the moment, but this is our kind of main team at the moment. So as you can see, myself and Claire has introduced ourselves, and so we have, as I said, a diverse range of expertise, from, you know, Christine, that was the CEO of Meat and Livestock Australia previously for their donor company, which managed technology investment, a large fund. Daryl, who's our ag tech expert in residence, Michael Macalina, who's got that ag tech kind of networks and experience as well. So yeah, quite a diverse set of skills here that help businesses. And as I said, we take in our cohorts, our businesses are, or ideas could be in ag tech, in technology, or more the value add side. So not just value added food products, but where you're you know, value adding a raw material into, could be skincare, pharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals, all sorts of different things as well, that really create additional revenue streams, capture more value back to a farming operation or your business, for example. Any questions? All good? Go. All right, so I'm just going to dive a little bit more into the Hatch program, which is why we're here today, but I'm more than happy to also answer any questions about our other programs. We're currently right in the middle of our Harvest Accelerator, just so you know. Applications for that accelerator will open again sort of towards the end of this year, well, later past the financial year. The Hone program will launch in May. Okay, so anyone that comes through this round of the Hatch program, and I'll give you all the dates and those sorts of things, has the opportunity to move into the Hone program. So hopefully that makes sense. So really, as I said before, the Hatch program is for individuals and teams. So we take, you know, sole people and also people that want to work on their idea with others into a 6-week program. And it's really everything you need to get started and really validate your business idea. So work out whether your idea is worth pursuing in terms of, will you progress it and actually establish a real business? And obviously with the vision to kind of move into it full time, for example. So really it's a 6-week program. It's an intense program. We do lots of things over the 6 weeks, but it's a lot of fun. You'll come into a cohort of about, you know, in the past, we've accepted anywhere between 10 to 14 teams or individuals. So a total cohort of, say, 14 ideas. You'll learn kind of all these skills and have access to resources and content to really kind of start testing your startup idea. You will be challenged, but hopefully, you know, you'll build lots of good capabilities and confidence. And the real outcome of the 6-week program is that you'll leave the program with a clear kind of 3-month roadmap to kind of keep progressing your idea. I'll just make a note here that the time frame between Hatch, we've actually trialed different times. So we just ran a Hatch program that ended just before Christmas. And so they've got a longer time period between Hatch and coming into Hone if they want to. And so they all have to, you know, pitch to get into Hone. And that launches in May, whereas this cohort will have a 3-week period in between the two programs. So a shorter time frame, and so we just want to test whether, you know, what's the best time frame between when you leave a program and want to come back into another one, if that makes sense. You get lots of resources. You get paired with your own business coach over the 6 weeks. You'll have access to our network, particularly, obviously, we do a lot of, if you've heard of kind of lean startup methodology, where it's all about, you know, learning as much as you can about your idea and your customer segment you think your idea is for. How do you go out and test that with real people and sort of iterate your idea? So many people come in with an idea to the program and they leave with their idea kind of having changed post the program. Any questions on that so far? All good? Okay, I'll just go into a little bit about kind of the program structure. The reason why I say this is an example is that we are we're actually changing our normal structure quite a bit, but this is sort of the kind of time commitment you can expect over the 6 weeks. Can I just ask a question? If you were to come into a program, we've just had feedback from our past cohort that they would really want it to be kind of, because I know some people have obviously full-time jobs, and so they're working on this kind of business idea outside of that. So having sessions, group sessions during the work day doesn't do that well. So would, you know, kind of an afternoon session after work best? You can come off mute, but I'll go through this structure as well if you want. Any comments on what, like, you know, what would work in terms of your schedules at the moment? What we've got in the chat. This question
either is okay for Miffy.
Yeah. Amanda, yeah, okay, that doesn't apply to you because you're just finding out about this program. Yeah. Okay, so just to talk about the structure, so you will have that kind of similar time commitment each week over the 6 weeks. So we say kind of contact hours could range between, you know, 2 to 5 max of contact hours. As you can see here, you know, it could, you know, there might be 2 group sessions in week 1 that last for about 90 minutes each in the afternoon. Then you go into a week where you have a one-to-one coaching call You're obviously paired with a business coach that is relevant to what you're working on, and that's self-managed. So that can be very flexible. We work all hours, being a startup ourselves. You also will have kind of smaller group sessions, some pre-recorded online learning, but some, regular kind of contact hours over the 6 weeks, and sort of activities and things that you'll work on, and then you'll come back into kind of a group session. So at the moment, we're thinking sort of Mondays and Thursdays for that kind of 90-minute session, later in the day, just to help with any clashes of work time. Cool. So that's sort of the intensity of the program. As I said, it moves quite, even though you might think like 6 weeks is a long period of time, it goes really quickly. So it is quite intense, but it's lots of fun. You get to meet another 12 other participants, and that also, particularly if you're like a tech developer or a research team, you need access to your end customers, being potentially farmers. We've got a huge network plus, which you can tap into, plus you will be in the room with some producers as well who are more than willing to help you think about how you actually develop solutions that meet the needs of your customers as well. So who can apply? As I said before, we've opened it up quite broadly now. So it's really any individual team with an idea to solve a problem on farm or for an agri-food industry. You could be a producer with an idea, be in a team with a producer, a research team or researcher, individual, student, entrepreneur, tech developer, or you could be someone that's working on it. You're looking to work on an idea with producers. So quite broad, pretty much anyone can apply, which is great. But really we look at the types of ideas that are coming in. So just moving on to that. So we are looking for ideas around innovative value-added food products. Food products for consumers, but also, as I said before, where you're converting or adding value to a raw material that can be put into something else. So, for example, we've worked with a native food business, using Kakadu plum into a skincare range, for example, or whatever it is. Really what the purpose there is to create opportunities to capture more value back to your farming operation, and meeting the needs of consumers. On the other side of that, as I said, we're also looking for ideas that around ag tech solutions that solve a problem on farm specifically, and also have kind of that impact on that particular agri-food industry. I just wanted to flag as well. So as I said before, we work across these industries specifically, and on when you go to the Hatch page on our website, you'll be directed to where you can read a lot more about the industry challenges. So these are actually being posted by our research and development corporation. So these are actual kind of key challenges that they want solutions for. So they want, great people like yourselves coming to solve some of their critical industry problems with some of your great kind of ideas. So that's sort of like, we do accept ideas outside of that. So I don't want to skew you in any way. I just want to say, like, if you're thinking about applying and you're looking at an idea for the grains industry, or you have an idea for the grains industry, for example, go and have a look at sort of the key things that they're looking for, both from technology and value-added food ideas. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? All good. Okay, so just to why apply. So hopefully you guys can see kind of the benefits of the program. It's free to participate, which is great. It doesn't cost you anything. We don't take your IP. We're not interested in taking your idea. What we're here to do as a business is support entrepreneurs and founders to really have that kind of impact on the agri-food industry by creating new ventures and solving, critical problems. So, as I said before, you get that one-to-one coaching, you get access to our large network, you'll learn startup best practice, And also you get access, obviously, to our venture pathways. So, as soon as you enter into the kind of Farmers to Founders family, we support you throughout. So even if you're outside, you've come in between our programs, we have support for you. And then as an alumni, you also have additional support from us. So we don't just, once we meet you and then we leave you, that doesn't happen. We stay in contact with you and try to support you throughout your journey. Just some key dates. So applications have been open since the 3rd of January. They will close on the 6th of February. Then we'll go through kind of a selection process. Finalists are announced and the program launches on the 28th of February and it goes for 6 weeks. We do a tech onboarding session on Wednesday, the 23rd of February. So in that week, which is essentially like week 0, that's just a session we do with the cohort to make sure you're comfortable with all the kind of technology that we use in the program. So we use a number of kind of online platforms and those sorts of things. And then anyone that applies gets access to our Journey Starter online. I'll do a very quick demo of that. That's really, even if you're unsuccessful in making it into the Hatch program this time, for example, you get access to some really great resources, some great modules and activities that are going to help you progress your idea regardless. And really this is to get you ready for the Hatch program. So you've built up those kind of capabilities before you come in and really, allows you to kind of hit the ground running when you start that program. So I'll give a very quick demo after we have a bit of question time. So these are normally like our frequently asked questions. So I'll just quickly run through them and then I'll stop sharing my screen and open it up to you guys. So how many teams are selected? As I said before, there's not a set number. We go from anywhere between sort of 10 to 14. How to apply? You just jump onto our website, farmerstofounders.com/hatch. And you can look at all of this stuff in more detail. There's a lot of information there. You can then go and have a look at the application form and be directed through to those kind of industry challenges. The selection process is for 2 weeks. We do bring in our R&D corporations to help with that selection process. It's pretty simple. We'll go through sort of an initial shortlist. We might give you a call and want to meet you again if we haven't. And then, we'll select the finalists. When does it start? It starts end of Feb 28th. How long? 6 weeks. Where is it located? Fully virtual. Do you need an idea? Yes. Do you need to be a producer? No. But we like to hear how you're going to work with producers, particularly if you're working on ag tech, because if you are working on ag tech, you might know that there is that sort of disconnect between technology solutions that are solving real problems. Is this the only Hatch program we run? No, we run 2 a year, 2 a financial year. What do you get? Obviously, all the access to resources and coaches and experts and those sorts of things. How much does it cost? It's nothing. It's for free. All our programs are free, and they are because of our funding model. So we're very lucky to be supported by these industry partners. Do you own my IP? No, as I said before, really not interested in taking your ideas or IP for ourselves. We're interested in helping you progress them. So I'm just going to stop sharing there and so I can